Welcome to Boo Crew Case Files. I'm your host, Bri Schroeder. Joining me today on this episode is Katrina.
Hello.
So, Katrina, we are down in Colfax. The REM pod temperature is increasing over there on the table, but we are down in Colfax at the historic Perkins House. We've been here a couple times. One specific time, I think it was in 2019, we were all seated at this table here in the little dining room area, and the cabinet just directly behind you popped open. We tried to debunk that. We had somebody walk by at the time, and we couldn't get it to swing back open. It didn't swing with any force.
No, it just kind of popped.
Yeah.
And the door just kind of cracked open, but didn't go anywhere. It didn't swing fully open. It was just like somebody knocked it with their leg or something. But
And upon review of the footage, which we had a camera looking at that direction, somebody was seated directly in front of it. What you could see was the door slowly swing open, but you couldn't actually see if somebody hit it. When talking to the person that had walked by, they didn't bump it, they said, but there was possible like flooring or maybe that they had stepped just right. But according to Val, it hasn't happened since and didn't happen before that.
And we haven't been able to recreate it no matter what we've tried.
I'm staring at it now, thinking it's going to pop open, but I doubt it.
There's just plenty enough clearance, though, that somebody wouldn't have just knocked by it.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked to the person that had walked by, there was nothing visually bumped. Like, you couldn't see the actual plates on top or the dishes were swaying or looked like they had been touched at all or bumped. But one of many strange things. We've got the REM pod. It's been going off like this for a while. We're actually seated at the same dining room table. Right now, we've got several different devices out. We have a temperature device. We have a data logger that's recording right now, the REM pod. We have some devices from Skyer Tech out of the UK, the air pressure checker, the Seismo. So we're really trying to see if there's anything that might happen here while we're visiting the Perkins house. I do want to share a moment that happened to me when I was here. You weren't here with me. We had done a paranormal investigation on Halloween a few years back. And I have to say there's some clips that I want to play here for everybody. So we were here setting up equipment. We had just arrived. There were 4 people. The front door porch light was flickering on and off like somebody was flipping the control repeatedly. I stood there recording that, thinking this shouldn't be happening. And at the same time, I heard a male voice say something in my ear, and thinking back, I can't recall what it was. We came inside, though, after having that happen, and we were setting up equipment and just talking in the background, and we caught some EVPs. We had the digital recorder seated by itself in the music room, just rolling to see if anything would be captured. I can't make sense of this. There were a lot of voices that didn't fit for the people that were here at the time.
And were they all adults, the people that were here with you?
Yeah, so we had Charles, who is a friend of ours, Val, of course, and a former team member, and then myself. So there were just 4 adults in here. Charles was the only male. He has a pretty distinguishable voice.
He's been a co-host on this show before, right?
Many times, yeah, a good friend of mine. So it just didn't really make sense to capture what we captured. So we'll go ahead and I'm just going to play the first clip. So in this clip, there's some audio in the background, but you'll hear what sounds like a child's voice. To me, the voice doesn't fit the time period. There's certain vocals that just tell me otherwise. So we'll go ahead and play this. It's about 38 seconds, but see if you can hear the child's voice. And he talks a few times in the clip, so. those vocals just do not make sense. The child sounds like an episode of Leave It to Beaver, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very out of, not current, right? It just doesn't sound like how we sound today. It sounds very reminiscent of the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, just a different timbre altogether.
Yeah, and the REM pod is going off again with the temperature rising.
And in that recording, did I hear, hey, look up here?
It sounded as though, hey, look up there, hey, look up here. And from what I recall, that would have been two people upstairs setting up devices, potentially if this child was acknowledging the presence or noticing something that was happening. Again, it doesn't seem intelligent enough because it wasn't calling out to, look at her. But what exactly was happening? And was there maybe a Halloween party that would have been had here at the Perkins home in that time period? We've got a device that's going off. Trina, that's right by you.
Yeah.
And you haven't moved your arm at all.
I have not, no.
Now the air pressure has gone off. The last time this happened, the REM pod went off as well. So interesting that that continues to go off. Nothing is by it that would be setting it off. It's almost as if something is standing right there.
And do they have to be pretty close to it?
I don't think they need to necessarily be very close, like touching it, like in the REM pod setting at times.
Should I put my hand towards
Oh, the temperature
right in front of me?
is going off. So the temperature is increasing now.
And it's about 1.5 feet away from me, so I wouldn't be affecting it because it just went off for the first time in the last 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah. So one other EVP that we captured while we were here actually kind of validates some information as to maybe who was here at the time. So we'll go ahead and play this. It's a short clip. This whole residual conversation in its entirety, I think, was 3 to 5 minutes in length. Due to a lot of audio in the background from team members and interference, I didn't want to play the whole thing because it would take a lot of time to remove some of those vocals out. This clip, though, I think definitely is worth it to hear. So we'll go ahead and play this. Now, to anybody listening, they might not hear it fully, so I'll play it one more time. Try to listen to the vocals yet again and think about your neighbors, your family, your friends, and how they speak. Listen to the tone that's coming through. And also, it acknowledges a name. Something about that audio clip, when I first found it, I was just really excited about it because Ethel is the last Perkins known to live in the Perkins home. It seems quite interesting that Ethel might have been having a Halloween party, potentially, and she was signaling to the family and neighbors around, hey, I'm home, let's have this party. And the kid said, hey, look up there, maybe there were some fancy decorations. We'll never really fully know, but absolutely interesting.
Can you play that again?
Yeah.
And I hear, hey, how are you, Ethel?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. The REM pod is going off again with the temperature change. The two temperature devices are on opposite sides of the table so that they can't mimic each other in a sense. We want to make sure that it's actually valid when it's going off. But Ethel Perkins was last known Perkins family member that lived in this home. I really think that REM pod...
Well, you've said Ethel 2 times, and after saying Ethel, the REM pod goes off. Could it be that Ethel is more intelligent than residual in some respect?
I mean, it's possible. I haven't had an intelligent experience here, but this could make me a believer that there's something intelligent at the Perkins house.
Ethel, if that's you, can you make something else go off?
Something other than the REM pod. Can you come and touch this device over here? Just faintly, it'll turn on. Ethel, if you're here, can you light up a device? Well, that was a little bit odd. So we had full battery power here, fully charged USB power banks, and it just drained.
And how long do they normally last? Maybe an hour or two?
It could be, a couple hours or more. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can't say if that was paranormal or if that was just a battery that's going bad pretty quick. But in any case, we lost connection. We are now back. So James Perkins came to Whitman County in 1870 with Thomas Smith in search of, basically they were going through government land and looking for area that they could build. I believe it was for like a foundry of some sort or lumber mill that they were scouting the area for. More or less, though, what is going on?
It's this.
The temperature thing keeps going off?
Yeah, but it keeps flashing blue
Like it's
and making a
resetting.
noise.
Do you want to?
Shut it off, turn it back on.
Yeah. So Mr. Perkins would become known as basically the father of Colfax, for lack of better terms. Mr. Perkins had a hand in so many different things within the community. He was in real estate. He later had a hand in the Bank of Colfax, also buying the Bank of Colfax and running that. He was also known to sell insurance. So he definitely had a great hand in Colfax. Originally it was named Belleville, which thought was that maybe it was ties to his hometown of Belleville, which was, I believe, in Illinois. And later then it was thought that maybe he had named it after a former girlfriend. So Colfax then was named properly at that time. Yeah, Mr. Perkins had a great hand in Colfax itself. He married young to a woman named Jennie. They lived in the Perkins House for a long time until he passed away in 1920. And then his son, Sumner, and his wife, Ethel, moved into the house to care for Jennie. And Sumner ended up passing away in the house as well at a later date, or in the garage, as I understand it.
Did the son have kids?
I don't recall. Let me see. He had a James Allen Perkins, a Louise Case Perkins, Donald Perkins, and Catherine Perkins.
So the EVPs that you received when you were here that Halloween, it was a boy voice.
Yeah, the child's voice.
And then it doesn't make sense necessarily that he would have called his mom by the name Ethel, but it definitely could have been a neighbor, right? I
think it was a neighbor. I think that there may have been some sort of a gathering that potentially they were just letting them know, hey, we're here, or that residual conversation. The residual hauntings really make me question so much, because the intelligent hauntings, they're interacting with you or trying to interact. Residual is just on like a loop, like an energy loop. It plays at random points. My question is, does it line up properly? Like, is this the event that took place on X, year, this date, many, many years ago, and so forth? It's just...
Sure, like we kind of did with the Spokane fire.
Yeah, with the Spokane fire. I mean, does the residual energy play on loop, more or less? And, I can't make heads or tails of residual hauntings in a sense, or the Perkins House, with those EVPs that we captured. It just leaves me questioning it a little bit more, and how does that play out? The Perkins House has had such a rich history here, being the founders of Colfax. And so it's a beautiful place, an old Victorian home that that night on Halloween rather, I remember sleeping right over there and trying to close my eyes, and there's mannequins that have old period clothing, and you'd start to kind of drift off and open your eyes and see this mannequin and kind of jump a little bit like, what is going on? But at the end of the day, you're just in a haunted place. I thought it was kind of fitting, though, and just to be able to come down to the Perkins house and kind of talk about Mr. and Mrs. Perkins, and then capturing those EVPs, and just having that validation of Ethel, whether in residual form or intelligence form. We haven't had anything else go off when saying her name.
No, nothing else. Just the REM pod.
Just the REM pod every once in a while going off and making some sounds. So I think, if anybody gets the opportunity to come down to Colfax, I would definitely say try to catch a tour or come into the Perkins house. It is beautiful.
It really is. And they've done a really great job with descriptions of the different articles in the house to identify if they're actually original to the house or how they would have been used during the time frame in which the families lived here.
I think my favorite piece is the Victrola. I think it's so cool.
It is really neat.
An old piano in there.
In the kitchen, they have an old rack that was used to hang clothing, and I think that's kind of neat that they would hang the clothing in the kitchen because that was the warm part of the house, and then the heat from the kitchen would dry your clothes.
Yeah. So as I said, I think that this place is very residual as far as things other than the anomalies of the devices going off when Ethel's name has been said or otherwise. But for the sake of the podcast, we'll go ahead and open up the Phasma box and see if we can get any sort of communication. I do know that spirits can move, so it's possible that maybe there's communication from St. Ignatius or other areas from the Colfax area that might mingle. I don't know.
We are near the train tracks, so you never know what could come through from there.
And the train tracks, yeah.
The first time.
Is there anybody here with us?
My name.
Sorry, like is
Almost sound like I said my name.
yeah.
I'm here.
Who's here with us? Can you tell us your name? Do you like having visitors?
Air pressure change. Good result. Are there any Perkins family members here?
I think you.
Who's talking with us?
Almost sound like it said Cedric.
At that sentry.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to us?
What they go about it.
Is there anybody upstairs?
There.
I heard there were.
Who was upstairs?
What did you do when you were alive?
Now,
Can you tell us your name?
trying to think,
Trying to think.
you know,
Wow, that was so clear.
Yeah.
What are you trying to think about? Do you have any advice for us?
Did you die here? Is this place haunted?
Did you like living? How old were you when you lived here? 27.
I heard 70.
Can you tell us again how old you were when you lived here?
See, that time I thought I heard 20 years old. But James Perkins was 70.
I look through.
Do you see what I've got here? What's this name right here? What's the name? Did you hear the male say, I'm sorry, what?
I heard something.
Is this your name? Can you touch one of the devices, please? Let us know you're here. Touch them. Touch the red light.
Defense Force.
I think I said it's not working.
Which one are you trying to touch?
Can you touch this purple one?
How about this green one?
obviously some,
Do you have anything you want to say?
Dream.
Dream. Do you miss the parties?
Next week.
Next week. Is there a party next week? Who's having a party?
Sharon.
Is Jennie here? What about Sumner or Ethel?
like been on the air.
Air pressure.
It just said something about air.
Yeah.
It's controlled.
It's controlled.
Can you make one of the devices go off, please? What are you talking about? Is there anybody that wants to talk to us?
That search.
How many are here with us? How many spirits are here with us?
Tree.
Yeah.
I thought I heard my nickname Tree.
Yeah, I heard that, but
David.
how many humans are in this building?
Although you haven't seen.
That went off and I thought I heard it say that was us.
Oh,
Did you turn that off or turn it on? Can you do it again, please?
Necessary.
Do you understand what we're saying to you? Can you see us?
sounded like it said she's a legend in a really quiet voice.
Detective. Are you an intelligent spirit?
I am.
What's your name?
Sounded like an older voice.
Are you a Perkins family member? So will you tell us your name? So it's dropping in temperature.
It's interesting because I got a chill right before that.
Do come in. Are you inviting somebody in? Okay, I'm gonna get ready to turn this off. Anything else? Are you done talking?
My name's
That voice again that said my name.
Tell us your name.
Who's throwing the party next week?
To be based.
Did you just say talk to me, babe?
I thought it said I'm in your face. Who's having the party? Now the temperature is going up. When I asked who's having the party, it sounded like it said Sumner. Someone touch you?
Yeah.
Did you just touch Trina? I would think you'd want to take credit for your things. Who touched Trina?
Should have done.
Should have done.
felt like something fell on my head, but there's nothing.
No,
These things.
these things. Who touched Trina?
The pop-ups. Okay.
Or like maybe it like,
It said pop-ums, but did you just throw a pop-it at Trina's head?
did you touch my hair?
People don't expect.
People don't expect.
Do you touch people a lot?
The bottom is it, man?
Absolutely.
Can you touch me?
What was the sort of...
See, I think this place is not intelligent, so show me that you are intelligent, please. It just said your name. Same voice. Said something about Trina and said could be any.
Why did you touch my hair?
The producer.
Are you making the temperature go up? Can you touch the red light for me, please? Touch the red light and turn it blue.
Did it just say leave?
Yeah. Are you telling us to leave?
Out.
Get out. Are you done talking?
Activate.
Activate.
We have searchable.
So, I came in saying this was a residual haunt, and I'm leaving with the same. You've given me no indication that you're intelligent. Was that the REM pod that just went off?
I didn't.
Heard it buzz. Keep it coming.
I don't know. It just said you're right. I think that there is some level of intelligent, maybe not consistent, and maybe not a ton,
And maybe not the Perkins.
but a little bit.
So maybe there is something intelligent here, just not to the magnitude that other haunted locations have. Did I make you mad? Can you just show me that you're here? Can you make a sound? Can you turn the red light blue over there, please?
Technology?
Yeah, can you touch the red light, please?
Or
Almost sound like you said, I don't believe it.
Touch the red light, see what happens. It won't hurt you. Or you can touch this light over here. See? Can you touch the table?
generated.
I already did.
We'll go ahead and turn this off.
Did it just say shit?
Yeah. Can you drop the F-bomb too? Depends. Are you making the temperature go up? All right, we'll turn this off. Thank you. Well, I was.
Shrine.
I don't know. I think that there's more residual than intelligence here.
Yeah.
I think that what intelligent responses we were getting maybe just passing through. Like
Yeah, could be.
could have been just energies of people that were here for previous events. Kind of odd to say, do you miss the parties? And then it says next week, like they're anticipating one. Easter is close by, and then when I asked who's having the party, I couldn't make out the full sound. But then later asking again, it sounded like maybe Sumner, but it's an interesting building, an interesting
is.
house. It's beautiful. The Perkins family did a great job with it, and it was one of its kind in the time period, being a Victorian home when it was built. It's actually the second location. The first structure is the little shed in the back, and if I remember right, there was a fire that also took place, but I think that was before this structure was built. So, but want to thank Whitman County Historical Society for giving us the opportunity to come through and check this out. Stick around, more Boo Crew case files in store. We'll be doing some more St. Ignatius stories, I'm sure, as well as Spokane history.